You ready?
Final game, bro.
Final game, you know.
Shy, we move.
These headphones are shaky, boy.
Nowadays I cross my legs and lean back, watch manifestations unfold.
I thought the diagnoses were done, but they'll always be the same. Penny for my dots, cause you know I'm tryna change. If I ever took a loss, charge it to the game. When we see guys, we don't slang. Any MC, I put them in the grave. I'ma make them disappear like my name was David Blaine. Flown like I'm Lil Wayne, came to where I'm setting flames. It's funny how niggas...
Anyways, we are... Let's go.
You know, I can't make it to year 9. No contract extension.
You know what
negotiations.
You know what happened to me here? I walk into the kitchen on like, I think it was like Thursday morning or something like that.
Yeah.
And mom was just sitting there on like a kitchen counter, right? And then she's like, "Did I want to dance?" And I was like, "What does mom talk about?" She's like, "I want to do Mother Son dance." I was like, I told her, yo, cool down.
You got press hard there.
I told her, cool down.
But they're impressed with your parents.
When you have a real conversation with your mother about proposals, that's when you're like, okay, we're in end game now. I have to do it. I have to do it.
I thought I wanted to take a choke.
I have to do it.
Nah, Sibi was coming over, helping cooking my mom, making Congolese food and stuff. That's when mom was looking at me like, this girl is coming over doing all this. I don't want to see another girl here again. I don't want to see another girl here
again.
again.
The cameras on. Are they on?
Oh, yeah.
Can we press the edge now real quick?
Don't press me, bro. Bro, you don't know I'm press resistant.
So your Busquets in the court, okay.
The way they just talked about proposals, I want to be, forget your missus. I want to be blown away.
Listen.
I want to be blown away.
I'm not going to lie to you.
I want to look at it and be like, fairs.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Fairs.
Jordan, low-key, your bars in that.
Well,
it's easy to impress you.
No, you're up there because if you did the one we talked about at the Eiffel Tower, I'm like, shit, look at this, you know.
Jordan would be so easy. Be like, right, you took me out for dinner, you know.
So easy. Now, put on a breadstick.
So easy.
Now you've raised the bar. Even if you do it at the Eiffel Tower with the flower, I'm gonna be like, nah, man, it's this because you told me that's not cool.
It's just. Like, let's change up the font a little bit.
All right.
Hey,
if I was a woman and I was proposing to Jordan, all right. So say we flip the script for a second. We flip.
First of all, why are you a woman proposing to Jordan?
So no. Better yet.
What's going on?
Me and Jordan in a relationship, right? I don't even have to be a woman in this instance, right?
All right. Okay.
Yeah. It's
2025.
We're in 2025, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, I take my baby out to Stamford Bridge. Okay, I take him to Stamford Bridge,
bro.
Peak Conference League.
Yeah.
Right.
On a Thursday?
Yeah.
If you take me to Stamford Bridge on a Thursday, I'll say no.
Playing against Al Jazeera. So.
These tickets are 30 quid.
I'm taking them to Legia Warsaw home. Oyedele Masterclass, okay? But we're not here for the match. We're not here for the match. He doesn't know. So during the day, right, we're taking him to the Gordon Ramsay joint.
Jeez.
The new Gordon Ramsay joint, the little restaurant, right? At this point now, I have him in my hands, okay? Then I do have my and then we go to the London Eye.
Okay, okay, Daddy.
Yeah, little picture.
Bro, what the fuck is going on?
Little cute picture of the telephone box first, because you have to do it.
Okay,
of course.
Yeah, in my Chelsea jersey that you bought me.
Yeah. So we get to the London Eye. I kick off my speech at the very beginning of the London Eye. We get to the top. It stops at the top. I bust out the ring.
Is that original?
Honestly, it is original. But you know what though? Knowing you and the way you waffle on, by the time you get to the top, you're only going to be halfway through your speech.
Hey.
But I think it's also like, to your point, yeah, men with interest like that, like if your babe wanted to propose to you, say the Rose Emma wanted to propose to you, she'll know like take Dave out, get him in New Jersey, bring him to United game. She'll know what order.
Do you know what it is though? I'm very vocal about what I like.
Yeah.
I'm very vocal. As a man, I'm very vocal about what I like. I think I'm the easiest person to gift for because I won't shut the fuck up about it for the whole year.
Oh, okay.
Whereas like Emma, the thing is with Emma, whatever Emma likes, she gets. And then it's very kind of cryptic hints about what she wants then. Okay. So I have to kind of decipher what she wants and then go from there. But me, I'm very vocal about what I like.
Yeah. So how do we even get talking about proposals?
Because this guy,
first of all,
Mr. Ryan Coogler,
I'll cut this out.
Proposals over here.
I'll cut this out.
He was gonna say you lot aren't original with your proposals.
That's not what I said.
You did a little flowery arch, different location. That's it.
That's not what I said.
Men out there, I tried to defend you. I tried to defend you, lot, behind the scenes. I said the unique selling point is location. It's not about the arch. It's not about the species. Well, listen, we'll let Proposal Ryan Coogler say what he wants.
Okay.
We're so back.
First of all,
We'll let
look, if that's what you might want, have it. All I'm saying is, that it just seems like
What does it seem like?
it seems like I could copy and paste a lot of your proposals and ain't shit change.
Look at this.
Bro,
At the end of the day,
I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple of them. If I was on Photoshop, there's a couple of them. If I was on Photoshop and I say Control X, Control V, it looks the same. That's all I'm saying. And but look, if that's what you might want, that's cool.
Something like engagement Wes Anderson over here.
Hey, but look, this is the thing. I'm the one doing something wrong.
Better start getting Emmy nominations.
Look,
that's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is maybe I'm the one doing something wrong because I ain't close.
You know the way everybody, Jordan. You know the way everybody comments. Congratulations, all of this. I might say mid on this one. I might say this is mid.
Yeah, even if he rents out the whole Burj Khalifa, and you rent it, I'm like. Yeah.
But if I see the arches, his girl's gonna be like, "Why did they ever say mid?"
Wait. So fuck me for wanting romance. Fuck me for wanting originality. Just fuck me then.
You have set a standard, okay?
Just fuck me.
I'll be the first person ever on an Instagram engagement to say mid. I'll say mid. Hold on. I ain't never said there was anything wrong with it. I never said it was bad. I was just wondering.
It's not original.
I'm just wondering what happened to originality. What happened to popping it in the champagne? What happened to putting it on a breadstick?
I'm not making a 5-part proposal series when I just put 10 pounds on Paris.
Bro, first of all, you're not spending 10 pounds on Paris. Let's be fucking for real.
For everything, for the decor, for the location, for the flights, for the hotel.
What are you talking about? You're flying fucking Ryanair. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you.
No, bro, we might be doing first class. I'm doing the whole.
You're not doing that.
We are, bro. First class. So why am I thinking about
the birds?
I'm thinking about flowers.
Yeah.
Who cares, bro? The unique selling point is location,
Man is doing Ryanair.
It's location.
This is exactly what's gonna happen. Man is gonna do Ryanair. They're gonna get stopped at the gate because his travel bag is too big.
I don't know what's in the bag.
They're gonna make.
Can you take that outside?
I'll take out the ring to make it a 22 kg. Jesus. My God.
But look,
you guys are cynic, man.
Once again, I'm not shitting on nobody's proposals. I just made an observation. Like, walk one. Like, because I just didn't know when we all started proposing the same way. That's what I'm saying. Because I thought
No,
different
you know
things.
what's actually killing me? They decided, hey, if we have this conversation, I'll cut this out. Then he said, fuck it.
Because you know what, yeah.
We're keeping it in.
Also, like, who's gonna slam me?
Because the two.
Bitch.
If I go on this, who's gonna slap me today?
We'll clear the lane for you. We'll clear the lane for you later on.
Okay, like all jokes aside, yeah. Like I love, and I think it's beautiful that everyone is getting engaged and shit like that.
Yeah. I tried telling him behind the scenes, but he was the one that was being a cynic. But yeah,
I'm not even being a cynic.
No,
like,
I love.
how come I get looked at as a hater just because I asked the question of like, yo, a lot of it is just looking same.
Because you're single, so how can you hate from outside the club?
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Don't have this conversation. Do you know what it is? There's on the gang press.
The funniest part is he's not even single. We just don't know.
First of all, don't start that shit.
Gegenpress. I've waited for 2 years to gegenpress that.
Don't start that shit.
They just said don't ruin my market,
bro. It's like a fucking Pringle on my ones, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh,
that's funny.
God,
that's funny. Anyways,
I hate all you guys, right? because now people are gonna be looking at me. If anybody that got recently proposed gonna look at me like, yeah, so fuck me, yeah, fuck my proposal, yeah.
And everybody now we're waiting for your when you get a missus and you on that patch here, I'm gonna look at her and says, how would you like to be proposed to? If she says on the beach, flowers and neon, I would say.
Okay, wait. First of all, let me preface this by I don't think any girl has said I want to get proposed to with a fucking neon sign. No girl has said that in history.
Comment below if you've said
no girl has said, yo, you know what? Propose to me with a flower arch and a neon sign. Nobody has said that.
How they said?
You might take it.
How they said?
They said, "Oh, you know what? I want to be in a
If I
different
don't
country."
see Michael Bublé at your proposal and I'm married at
First of all, Michael Bublé, what the fuck?
bro, you have to get Michael Bublé.
It's gonna be Caesar or something. What the fuck I'm doing with Michael Bublé?
Do you know how Kanye, for one of Kim's birthday, he rented out his whole stadium and he got her favorite singer. I think it was the Lana Del Rey. That's how he proposed.
Yeah.
Like, and he had like a live band. That's what I want to see.
Do you remember when Drake like rented out Paris Saint-Germain?
Yeah, to have a dinner.
For Bernie's Burger or something.
That's what I want to see.
Like I said,
that's what I want to see.
like I said, don't give me money. Don't give me money.
No. If you give Dej money, there'll be girls out here driving Lambos everywhere, man.
Hey, you know why Lambo? Is that why you're shouting?
But anyways,
don't. It's
in a relationship, like or in the realms of relationship. Let's just go. So this week I'm chilling on the internet as I do chronically online as I am, and I see your own Whitney. She's going through from Love Island.
Oh,
she's going through a breakup. First, again, I always say this. My reaction is always like. My original reaction was like, women love that choosing me line after Drew breakup. Then I level up. Then I go on Twitter. This is where you see think pieces about how she's expressing herself, how she's vocal, and they're basically telling her to put the phone down, etc., etc. I want to get you man's take, because to me it's like losing someone, not even through death. There is a grieving process to it, where she's had the best friend, she was together for 3 years, and she's kind of like in her own about way, she's trying to grieve this lost love that she's lost, and how people choose to do that. Isn't it like whatever helps you get through this is how you would navigate it, or do you guys find the way like, no, don't bring it online?
Like I think it was refreshing how she kind of was depicting navigating breakup, because like a lot of people think that a lot of people think there has to be a causation to a breakup, or there has to be something volatile that happened, when really it's just two people that grew apart. And her whole thing that she was shown when she was posting that on Twitter is, you put a lot of investment into this person, you are convinced I'll never be alone again, you know, in that sort of way. So then when you break up, you almost have to reinvent yourself. Yeah, it's genuinely like a rebirth when you break up, because now you have to be your own independent person. You have to be a new person. That person that knew you the most no longer knows you. I've said it to Emma before. I've said, imagine we broke up. I have to have someone get to know me all over again, and especially at this age, when you add into this age, she's like 26 or something, like 27.
Yeah.
But I don't think people see the value in relationships like that. I think people have seen too many cautionary tales. A lot of people have been stood up. A lot of people, I don't know, and then people are superficial. Right. So now it's like, oh, I'm too cool. Don't show emotion. Why don't you have friends around that didn't tell you about this sort of thing? It's like, let someone just be vulnerable on, like, you know.
I'm on a similar wavelength, because it's like, the way I look at it is like, I've gone through a breakup and I've told my story many times, and it's led me one path, and it's like, if this can help you navigate this loss, because I was like 19 years old, I was or 20, whatever, and I was like, I didn't know how to deal with all these emotions that I'm going through. Like, oh, who am I? Am I gonna find love? Like, but then to find if just releasing your feelings on a video online and just be like, do you know what? This is what I'm going through, and this is what I feel. Like, again, the internet is the place that we feel like.
Well, everybody projects on the internet.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
and it's like, oh, I wouldn't do this, so therefore you shouldn't do that. Your friend should. But I'm like, yeah, but that's how you navigate loss and breakup. Doesn't mean that's necessarily how people should. Like, that's how,
a lot of people on Twitter, they just say ball up top, but they're not really feeling like that.
Yeah. But how did you? What do you make of this?
Honestly, I just looked at it. I was like, why does everyone care, man?
Like at the end of the day,
let the girl make her content. Let the girl do what she wants to do. Like, I don't give a shit.
But I think after that, did you watch Inside? What was it? That show she did?
Yeah, I did.
I think after that, I didn't watch it, but I was hearing that she was being depicted as a mean girl or a bully. I do. Again, that's what they said she came across. So a part of it's also like with the internet, it's also kind of like, oh, serves you right, or you had this comment, or he's breaking up with you because you're a mean girl or you're a bully.
Everybody's parasocial. Like, everybody thinks they know the person just based off of out context clips and that sort of thing. I don't think, you know, that's an indictment on who the person is. I don't think we should carry that over and then the next time go, oh, but you were saying a few months ago, like, people in the mindset of relationships are completely different. Like, I'd have a completely different mindset right now in my relationship compared to if I broke up with my girlfriend and then a year down the line. I'd say some stuff, and in retrospect I'd be like, I was chatting nonsense
Yeah,
about that relationship. So people are like that. People are goofy. People chat shit. People do whatever. But I don't think you should hold it to them when they
Yeah.
go through a
Even
breakup.
on that, I think it's like that's spot on because we consume people in clips and we think that we know them in totality.
Yeah.
And like I was having this conversation with Simi at home and it was about Schultz and I was like, everybody's perception on Andrew is correct because if I see him in a 30-second clip, whatever feeling I have towards him is based on what I've seen, and that's based on a 30-second clip. So people that might have seen Whitney in that, I wouldn't say like, oh, being a mean girl or whatever. I'll say, okay, maybe you're right because that's how you've consumed her. If you wanna have a total analysis on her based on a 30-second clip, I get why you would. I don't think it's fair. I think it's fair, but because if your analysis is based on a 30-second clip, fair. But it was like, whereas I consume like for example, I didn't really like Joe Budden at first because I consumed them in clips and it always looks like he's crashing out. But people that consume them in totality every week find them entertaining or they find them engaging, they find like he brought something. I wouldn't say my feeling towards him was necessarily wrong. Maybe I just didn't give him a holistic view or a more of a bigger chance than just consuming the 1 minute clips. Because every time it's a 1 minute clip, he's crashing out. So obviously, I think this guy is just like this guy's a weirdo. He's always crashing out. But recently, I started watching more long form content of him. I'm like, I see why people. This was one of the biggest podcasters in the world at one stage. I see the value in it. So I understand that point.
Even on the relationship piece, though, I think people's ideals, they tend to change when they're in relationships. And like I've talked to other people that have been in relationships and I don't always agree with their ideals. Yeah. And then I might see them a year down the road when they've evolved. Like you have people that are in honeymoon phases, so therefore they have a certain depiction of how a relationship should be. God forbid I tell them that, oh yeah, me and Emma might have gone into a bit of a bickering or squabble or whatever. They're like,
they can see
argument? That doesn't happen. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like you talk to them then 2 years down the line. Exactly. That changes. And so people's perception changes. Spot on. Whether a relationship's being navigated or a relationship ends. Yeah. Like it changes,
and I can tell you that while you're in the honeymoon stage, your idea of a relationship is wrong because that's what you know. So if that's what you know, I can't be like, yeah, but you're gonna have arguments. You can see past this honeymoon stage. You be like, I can see. So this is what I know. I'm like, yeah, fair enough because that's what you feel. And like you're saying, whatever you and Emma's gone through, and I can't tell you like, oh, you guys argue because it's like, oh no, that's what relationships are. That's also correct.
Yeah,
so I always think it's unfair that again we do this, we do clips, so it's not completely unfair because we know what we're doing. I think like if you look at a clip of Whitney or I didn't watch her or she's being a mean girl to just be like, oh, that's who she is. But whereas people that know her or be in a relationship with her, you can't have an idea of who someone really is just based on 30-second clips, is my opinion anyways.
And it's also tongue-in-cheek, so it's hard to assess when...
I'm not gonna lie, I just let you relationship man bust that comment.
But
you know what though? You know what's really weird? Like, why are people so invested in these people's relationships? Like, even when Tanya said on a podcast where she was like, oh, something happened or whatever, and then everyone's like, oh, Shaq cheated, and then it's like, Dami was there cheating too, and Tanya's the only one that respected herself enough to leave, and I'm like, bro,
that happened as well.
Yeah, and like they were calling Dami Deal on the timeline as well, and it's just like, bro,
yeah,
you people haven't even met these people.
Some people know too much lore about him. What was the title of the episode that you did with Ron? Touch grass. Yeah, touch grass. I couldn't remember because people build parasocial relationships with these people, so they think they know them based off of seeing them for about 8 weeks in Love Island, seeing them on 2 or 3 podcasts. It's like you don't really know the person, or you don't know the ins and outs of the relationship.
Yeah,
so
but
like,
what, bro?
It's good for content, though. That's what we do. That's why it's good for. Hey. If we didn't have a podcast, we wouldn't have this conversation.
Like I'm not gonna, like we say, what it is. The internet provides.
So we talk. So should we do the intro and talk to Dave about the last couple of years that he's been away? Anyways,
go.
Sorry. Anyways, we are Cittg.
Bang.
This is the podcast with the highest level of analysis the culture needs. I'm Daddy J, but you mans call me Jordan. I'm here with...
You know your girl's favorite voice, Big Dage Nick with the Midas Touch.
Come on, who we got here today?
We're back. We do the intro, yeah? Second most light skin. Vancouver's finest. Oh, the English Bay.
This guy has curly hair.
999's finest.
What's 999?
Fuck Trudeau.
Alright.
Free Palestine.
Come on.
That's it.
Free Congo.
The reason why I laughed because I was wanted to see if the intro would go smoothly like it used to, but it didn't. Fucked it up. I got too gassed.
It's a little bit rusty, bro.
Yeah, Dave, how are you getting on, man? How are you?
Yeah, good, bro. Just trying to assimilate Irish life again.
Okay.
It's changed. Places.
So let's
get into this quiz first. And then
so we do a quiz.
How did you forget?
Jesus, because Dave is like,
he's
not a guest anymore. So we do a quiz on Cittg.
Okay.
5 questions each. 5 from me, 5 from each.
I've seen.
Yeah, we have to break it down.
I've heard Goody crying about apparently his
Do you think that we do favoritism?
I think you gave Fiona the stimulus before. I think you did. I think you're practically putting that answer on her lap.
You know what's
I
funny?
can't remember how it went. But
But we can, because we actually went back to it.
I actually went back to watch it.
listen. And it was actually fair.
Yeah, it was a fair question.
And it wasn't even easy questions either.
All right.
Yeah.
Run
I asked
it,
about
let's
like
see.
what David Beckham's number was, who's won the most
F1 titles, bro. Like,
fair is fair, man. Anyways, Dave, you should go first because I just have to think of one more question.
all right, cool, no problem.
So Dave's just gonna go first, but if you need help, I can throw you a bone here.
Which country won the Eurovision in 2024? I thought you might know this one, because you know.
Sweden.
Close. Switzerland. What is a group of pugs called?
Litter.
Grumble. Which?
How am I supposed to know Grumble? What did you say the last? What did you say the episode with Tasha? Embarrassment.
I'm not gonna lie.
Who knows?
You look like you would own a pug.
Nah.
Does he not? Does he not?
Nah.
Man with the Aquaman hair and all.
Big dog
I
down here.
could so imagine him with a pug.
Jason Momoa stuff.
Hey, do you know what I'm saying?
Pugs have health issues, man. I don't care about a grumble of pugs. Jesus Christ.
Don't fucking kill me, man. Which space telescope was launched by NASA in 1990?
Stethoscope.
No, the Hubble telescope.
Okay.
The whole what?
The Hubble telescope.
Guys.
This question.
If I'm on now and I say that, bro,
This
they think.
question.
They're not that mad, just low key, man.
How am I supposed to know this?
What year did Justin Bieber release his first single?
2011.
09. How many strings does a standard violin have?
8.
4.
What are these questions, bro?
These questions
What
are
are these?
hard.
They're ridiculous questions. They're ridiculous questions. I'm a hoodie now. I'm
the
a
last
hoodie. They're
quiz.
ridiculous questions, man.
These questions are like
hold
ridiculous
on,
questions.
wait. First,
How am I supposed to know how many streams on a violin?
First of
Am I
all,
a dickhead, like?
first of all,
How am I
it's
supposed to
called
know
general
that?
knowledge for a reason. General.
Anyways, April 27th at the Sugar Club, we're going to do a big quiz with our quiz master. She's going to take over and do the quiz. It's going to be Team Jordan versus Team Dage. Winner gets a grand prize.
You know my
Pull
team.
up.
You know my team's winning, right?
I
don't even know who's on my team yet.
That's what I get on my
But
team.
I
believe in you guys, though.
I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
believe in you
have
guys.
an eye for talent, so my team's gonna win.
Which talent?
Both. All the above.
Crazy, guys. This is just insane. I can't legally agree with it sometimes. Anyways,
You don't need to legally agree with me on this one.
Dave,
All right.
what was the location of the 2009 Champions League final in which United lost to Barcelona?
Rome.
Correct.
See, that's a question.
That's
a question.
You have a feeling you know.
Then what was the telescope launched in 1960 like?
Bro, everybody
How
knows
many
the fucking
Grammys has Tyler been nominated for?
couple. You should know this.
That's all. How many?
4.
2. She's won one
I
last
was
one.
gonna say 2.
How many counties are found in Leinster?
6.
12.
Oh, God.
What is the hockey team name based in Canada, Toronto?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Correct. What year did the first iPhone come out?
The first iPhone.
Yeah.
2006.
Ooh, close. 2007.
Oh.
They got 3 here. See, I gave you things I thought
And
you
in
should
fairness, I
know.
got hard questions.
Yeah.
He killed me. He killed me. in
He
the
kills
quiz.
everybody. That's the
killed
reason
me in
nobody
the
can
quiz.
get. That's the reason.
What's the highest?
9.
9.
Who got 9?
Fiona. She got 9 and she got 8.
I'm
So I think
gonna
she got the highest.
I'm gonna start nasty agenda. I'm gonna start nasty
She's
agendas.
averaging 9.8.5 in her
I'm
quiz.
about to start nasty agendas when this podcast is
This is
done.
what is up.
But,
Yeah,
what's called? April 27th.
Yes.
Make sure you're there. We got a few FAQs, frequently asked questions, and that.
Oh yeah, break that down.
So essentially, what's going to happen is, when the doors open again? 6:30.
6:30, doors open.
Doors open at 6:30. I'm not going to break down the whole show for you because got to leave some shit to surprise. But people be asking like, yo, a couple people come up to me and is like, what's the crack with the bingo and beats thing? So essentially what's going to happen is we're going to pod, we're going to have games, we're going to have do all the shit we need to do. And then at a certain point, we're going to hit the pause button. We're going to go into some bingo and beats, play bingo, do the whole bingo and beats vibe. Someone's going to win a holiday, folks. I'm jealous, man.
Yeah.
Also, people, just so
Where's
you know.
this holiday?
That's a surprise.
It's the caravan site in Wexford, isn't it?
Bro, that's
Good glamping.
I'm not gonna lie.
Glamping.
That sounds like
It is not.
don't worry.
definitely
Don't worry.
Caravan sites in Britain.
Somebody's getting put on a flight.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. People keep asking me to rig this shit, and I keep saying, if I could rig this shit, do you not think I would rig it?
So
to someone-
congratulations, Fiona. You won the holiday.
You know me so fucked up. You know me so.
Ah, she wins.
If she wins,
Clear your schedule. Get your itinerary ready.
should we just scrap her there and say she can't win?
That's like, you can wait.
Because if she wins,
She's already said on the third party of the pod, is it? Yeah.
We got to take her out of the running. But yeah, so pause, play bingo and beat. Someone's going to win a holiday, and then we're going to continue with what we need to do. What else do we need to know? What else do they need to know?
I think that's it.
Bro, this shit's happening on Sunday, bro.
Sunday, yeah.
Wow.
This is like the last episode, alhamdulillah, before the live show.
I've been dying to retire. Why?
Before the live show.
To be fair,
it's been a year. I think it's just because it's stretching out.
Can I say something?
Just because it's stretching out. Pause.
Boys, this is where I get into my light skin, moist part of the show.
I love this part.
Back in the day, right?
I love this part.
I'm genuinely so proud of you boys.
Thank you. I
I'm
appreciate
so
it.
proud of you boys. Yeah,
Thank
honestly,
you.
because like after that live show we did before I moved to Vancouver, I didn't really know the direction that the podcast was going to go in. I didn't know how quick the next episode was going to be. I didn't know what the dynamics were going to be like. We talked about that a lot. Boys, you elevated.
Thank
you. You're elevated.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
Podcast of the year 2023, like it shows it. You know what I mean? Like it shows it. You know.
Yeah.
So like, I genuinely like, and people can say whatever they wanted to say about it and have their critiques about the podcast, but these lads have been absolutely shelling it every single week.
Yep.
No one to talk about. I don't think, and I'll say, and I can say from an unbiased and a biased point of view, I don't think anybody podcasts the way you use podcasts.
I agree with that.
The ability to carry a conversation, the ability to talk about the nuances of certain topics, and keep it
funny,
keep it fluid. Yeah.
I've said it and I'll say it again. On the mic, I think we do it best. On the mic, when it comes to saying on the mic and having conversations and
undeniable
range, I think we do it
it's
best.
undeniable.
But everybody brings their own strength. I would admit that, but I think our strength is actually like just having the conversations on the mic.
And I'm just happy that I got to, and I think people would have this idea that when I left, like we just stopped keeping in touch. You know what I mean? We're all just co-host friends and all that. I think I talk to these boys every day.
Yeah,
every day. When
Jordan did say that we're podcast friends.
Yeah, I know he did.
I wish some people we did just stay the podcast friends. So, certain things. I just wish industry friends would just remain the thing.
Jordan, fuck off.
I just wish to stay that way.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was kid a toy and you say podcast friends.
All I'm gonna say is people always think I'm the one that's on fuck shit, but it's not true. It's Jordan. Jordan's on all of the fuck shit. But before we get back there,
April 27th.
April 27th.
Yes.
It literally is in the Sugar Club. Yo, grab your tickets because I don't want to say, nobody, don't text my phone on the day saying, don't text my phone when you see us having fun saying, Dej, where's my invite? Don't text my phone saying, oh, Dej, can you get me tickets last minute? The tickets are there. Buy them before they sell out because tickets are moving fast. Yeah. And we're going to have a great show. What's called? A couple of days out. How you feeling?
I was feeling nervous, like I said at the start. Now I'm kind of like, okay, I want to be on stage. I want to have fun. I want to do it. I actually want to get on with it. If that makes sense. Like because the stress and the anxiety comes in the prep of everything and trying to get everything patterned and ready. The day itself is like you've done the controllables. You've done everything you can. Or you do this to get this.
And the next thing is just finding that flow state. You know what I mean? Like we were there. I was there was it the last live show that wasn't supporting anybody? Or wasn't like the last outright Charge It live show was in 2023. That one.
No, we didn't do one 2023. We did one.
No, it was the one early 2023. The one before I moved.
Oh, before you moved, yeah.
That was the last title Charge It live show. And I know you had some games nights here and there and stuff like that, but like even the prep that went into that night, it kind of went out the window when we all went into flow state. A few drinks were flowing and that sort of thing, and then you feel like it's where you're supposed to be. So I have no doubt that you lot are gonna shell it.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of, how you feeling?
I'm good. Ready to be on stage. Excited to be on stage. Excited to like actually. We've been pump faking this for a while. Yeah. We put in our resignation letter a whole year ago. Longest resignation ever.
Paul Scholes.
Do you know? Like Paul Scholes retirement. This is like a WWE retirement where The Rock retires every year and it's like a WrestleMania every single year.
Jordan Belfort retirement. Like, I'm not fucking leaving. Every 6 months, man. Every 6 months.
People keep, every time I was like, yo, like this is, you know what's so funny? People are always shocked when they keep saying, yo, like this is the end.
Why?
I don't know.
But people think this is all. Everybody's conspiring and they think this is all part of the rollout. I'm gonna come back in May. We're gonna start running that street again. I'm here to tell you right now, people, it's done. It's done. I've talked to the boys about it, and from my perspective, I understand where they're coming from and the reasons why it's done. I know they're gonna get into it later, but It's over. I'm saying it first.
This is like.
How do you feel? Because you asked me this last week when Tash was here. Was about how do I feel it being over? How do you feel about being finished?
I've accepted it, bro. Like it is what it is.
Accepted it is like you can accept a lot of things. Just being like you're happy about it. If that makes sense. Like I accept that I have to work every day.
Do you think you'll be okay with not doing this every single week?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fine with it. Like I think it's been so long that like all the feelings towards it. Like remember I told you one day I was at work and I was like, yo, I'm over this podding thing. Low-key, like I think it's one of those situations because also it's been so long. It's been so long that we're talking about leaving now or whatever. It just feels like, bro, it's like a year-long breakup.
So
like
do it then.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Do it then.
Like it's just it's like like at this point it's just do it then. Like I think I'm just ready to do it. Like I'm ready to do it.
Are you gonna pivot?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
Like because the thing is like I'm not gonna lie. There's part of me that is kind of like I think I might just want to go. Let me just go start a little business. Yo, can just do that and like kind of take it out of having to be liked publicly.
Yeah.
And like those public opinions, because like if you're selling something, if your product is good, it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like maybe just go do that. Like I have ideas to do other things as well. Right. I had a conversation with. Remember I told you I went to Luxembourg?
Yes.
So I went to Luxembourg and one of the managers is like black, so he took me out for lunch or whatever. Like had like a long conversation with him about just doing shit. So it's just kind of like I think it's time. Like actually, there's a couple things I put on the back burner, and it's like everything has gone into the live show. So now that that's going to be over and the pod is going to be over, maybe go do some side quests.
I hear that.
Okay.
I hear that.
What are you going to do though? Actually,
I told you I'm going to learn how to swim. I'm going to do like things that I'm going to swim. I'm going to do things that like I've been meaning to do, but I'm just like I haven't been able to like put the money or the time into. So I'm just going to be like, no, I don't have the, like I know Dave always says like because we do this here creative. I don't have that creative thing about. I don't have it. Like the urge to create. You know how you like sit and you're talking to him. I don't have that same thing. Like I don't, maybe because I don't have the skills to do it to the editor.
So have you more viewed this as being formulaic than actually having a creative side to it? Like because Deji, I was listening to the podcast before I went on, and Deji made an interesting example, and I think I have a different mindset. Like Deji said that sometimes you have to realize that after trying to be a rapper for 10 years, you're not gonna be a rapper anymore. And my whole thing is like, and some of you do need to listen to that. Like, that's valuable advice. But what I gathered from it was, like you've always viewed this as trying to make it as a rapper. Did you ever get to enjoy the creative endeavor?
No, that's the thing.
I
enjoyed it more when I wasn't trying to push it as a content space. Do you know when we started doing like, okay, we need to make clips this way? When we actually started
like
to
in Dejgaff and Navin and that sort of
thing.
Like,
when we were just podding. Yeah, it was just like, oh, I enjoyed it. But when it became, it's like, oh, let's try to make this into something. I kind of stopped enjoying it, and I realized like, I don't enjoy the creative aspect of it. Like you have to go network, you have to, like, you know, I always say this: the level where GTD do it, like where they're in the UK, they're making different content, they're making all different stuff. The level they do it at, I just don't have that Amy about podcast. I'm like, oh, I enjoy doing this, but I don't enjoy doing it enough to put that level of effort in.
And to be fair, I actually think we're at our best when we stop giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I think
today.
Like I think when you left, and for those that don't know, for all you new listeners, Dave was the third part of the show, because you know what? Because we do have new listeners that don't know who Dave is.
You said he'd never listened to us when Dave was here.
A lot of people didn't. So a lot of people didn't, because like even because I remember after the live show, I think we started building a bit more traction, and that's when shit was going upwards. Do you get what I'm saying? So like when David left, it was still we're still doing it for the love of it, for fun and all that kind of shit. And then we like, okay, you know what? Let's take this a little bit more seriously. Try to start doing clips. Try to start doing all that. And then I think that's when we hit the plateau and it's like, yo, this kind of dead. And that's when it really killed it.
Yeah.
And then when we came back and said, oh, we're just gonna pod until the live show, even though the live show was supposed to be in October. That's when it was fun again, because we're like, we actually don't give a fuck.
So when there was more eyes on you and you felt the pressure of making it formulaic, and there was even commentary from other podcasts as well, which you can get into if you want to get into, but certain podcasts were running their own commentary about as well. It probably felt like there was a bit of a pressure to it, and then when you probably accepted resignation and retire, and that's when it kind of, you know, that's when you could kind of express yourself. The shackles came off.
Yeah, like this is fun, but like this is fun. There's no formula. We're just coming here. Like when we started this podcast, that was like an off my conversation with brother. That's fun.
Yeah.
But then when we started looking, I was like, okay, what would be what hashtag you should when you post, or what you should do.
Yeah.
What time should you be posting?
Post
How
on
many
TikTok this amount of fuck that
how
shit,
many
man.
clips should you be posting a day? Post every. It might like, okay, what guest should we get on? Okay, this one has this many followers. It'll bring good eyes to the pod. I'm like, man, I find myself talking to people quite respectfully. I don't even know if I want to talk to them like that, but because maybe they might bring eyes to the pod, I feel like you have to play the game a little bit, and I just it killed. I was like, I can't be arsed.
And like and I say that's how I feel, because I had to go on my own personal creative journey and that sort of thing. And the thing is, like, Dej is definitely one person that's held me accountable on this the whole time. He's just like been like, don't procrastinate. You know, you're wasting your time if you're not doing the content thing. I don't understand that. But also the idea of trying to be formulaic has been the thing that's always overwhelmed me. That I always have to think of a clip, and I always have to, you know, produce something every single day when I'm thinking on my mind, like, kind of grander scheme what I want to create, like from a creative perspective. Like it's not always easy to post stuff daily. And I think you have to identify if that's what you want to do or not, or if you want to be sporadic creative, or if you don't want to be in it at all.
Well, I think it kind of just shows, like, to really get somewhere with something, a lot of times you gotta love it. Like, you gotta actually like love doing it, because like the thing is, like, we could run this forever. Like,
if it's about showing up once a week and just recording, I can do that forever.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I'll just be paying money to just.
Well, it's like loving a 5-star dish, and then some restaurant tells you just make burgers every single day. Make burgers and make them nice. Like make something formulaic and keep producing that. Keep producing it, almost on a fast food level. Yeah. And really, what you want to be doing is making something that, you know, takes 2 days to make, you know
as long as I enjoy doing it.
As long as you enjoy doing it.
It's about the process with you. On the other hand, I don't know, Dave, man. You sometimes I don't get you. Like,
okay, elaborate.
Like, the thing about you, is that it's clear
I'm
that
an enigma.
You love creating. Like, you just like creating shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, respectfully. Wait, do you want my honesty? you know I'm gonna be asking.
Far away. You haven't not been honest with me before, though.
Yeah, but it's different on the pod.
Okay.
Yeah, but like,
unless I feel like you're stitching me up, that's different.
No, I'm not.
Anything you say now, you haven't already said to me. So.
I'm not stitching you up. It's just like, you like creating. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like you were in a place where, cool, you did have a little bit of a buzz from the pod and stuff like that, but you completely moved. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that was your chance to just create for the sake of creating. But I think sometimes, like, you build it up so much that we have this perfectionist point of view. Like, we want everything to be so perfect, but sometimes it's literally just about creating.
It's just about creating.
Literally, and that was always my thing with you. Is like, you want to get it to be this exact thing, but it's like, even what we saw with the podcast, the only reason the podcast worked is because we did it respectfully, we did it the worst we could do it for so long until like, oh wait, hold on, this shit actually works. Let's start pumping a bit more money into it. Yo, people are listening. Let's do it. Let's up the levels bit by bit kind of a situation. But it feels like with your personal content, you just want it to be perfect pro YouTube level, or I'm not dropping it. And then that's how you end up going 2 years without really creating.
Is that how you feel though?
No, I think that's a spot on assessment. Okay. Like, there's not a single thing I disagree with there, but the only thing I can really offer in this instance is an explanation to why. So for my content, yes, the perfection piece, Dej is absolutely correct. Like, there's no doubt about that. If it's not comparing to the other peers that I see on the creative side, on the YouTube side, then I feel like, but I stepped away from that definitely at the start of the year. I was definitely just posting what I wanted to posting what I felt like posting what was reflective of my life. But sometimes you just hit that lull where you don't want to really create, because sometimes some certain things in your life aren't going the way you want to go, or life just moves fast. You know what I mean? I've literally moved back from the country. I've stockpiled a lot of content, and then sometimes there's just a laziness element to it. Yeah. Where I just don't want to edit yet because I'm preoccupied on applying for jobs, you know, assimilating to the culture again in Ireland, you know, meeting up with friends, catching up with people. And then sometimes content can get put on the back foot, because if I feel like if I put out the content right now, it'd be like forced. It wouldn't be reflective of my life. But what I am definitely trying to work on this year is making it consistent, I guess, even if it's not always reflective of my life. But I know that the pitfall of that is people might see content that's like, I'm skipping over this. This isn't that good. But it's about having a catalogue of content there.
Yeah. what I say is like what I've noticed about like you and Ron specifically is maybe even you, because you guys have like skills to understand what perfection looks like or to make it better and to do the edits, and you're comparing it to other like your peers that you're seeing to a high level. Like I see with Ron as well. Ron wouldn't drop content for ages because he's searching for that like bit of perfection, whereas I don't like. I will do those little like come with me a day in the life of a dad. I don't. I just put it together. So I don't. Do you guys feel like because you have? They always say like sometimes knowledge is power, but sometimes because you know ignorance is bliss. Also, I'm ignorant to what it takes to maybe create high level content. So if I do like a little Instagram reel, I just stitch it together. I can just post it because I actually don't know what it takes. Do you find like because sometimes you know more that okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, that you can be in your head about it all and just not do it at all?
Yeah, I believe in that. Like we've seen it firsthand on podcasts. Like some people have such a level of intellect that they can't really compile it together and make it make sense. That sort of way.
Yeah.
But I think maybe since 2023 when I started trying to do content again, I basically did a bunch of draft content where I went off of social media for a month and I just filmed every single day on my balcony, whether it was topical stuff or it was just what's on my mind. And a lot of it was shit, I'll be real. Like I thought a lot of it was shit. But then in 2025 then was when I was really kind of like, okay, you need to kind of strip away the perfectionist piece. But sometimes these days it's not really about what I view as perfect. It's kind of what inspires me. And sometimes I just go through periods where I'm not that inspired. Like sometimes I'm just on autopilot like everybody else. But then sometimes I see something that inspires me and then I go from there pretty much. And a lot of my content is based, and I think that reflects, I think you see that in my content. Like my content is reflective of my life and something that inspires me. My literal last video is something that inspired me. And then I went from there. But then sometimes it's hard to draw inspiration so much that, you know, you kind of hit that lull.
Yeah, but the thing about that is like inspiration is like motivation. Like if you work based on that, you don't really work.
Exactly.
Like the thing, like what you're saying with your stitched together content, you've thrown it up, but people genuinely enjoy that shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if we're talking about this as a business model kind of a situation, you've gone to market, you've tested it, you know that this works. You know that okay, this is what's gonna work. If I keep continuing to do this, even at a very, 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 very low level, and it's just like I'm just stitching up a bunch of essentially a bunch of snaps together and doing a voice over it. It's you're 10 steps ahead than you are because the internet is weird. How many things that we thought were absolutely stupid are popping? Do you get what I'm saying? And like all of that draft content, you don't know. There's probably some gold in there that might not change your life, but there's probably some gold in there that is like people fuck with this, bro. I'm on the internet scene. There's one girl. She's gotten on 300k followers from one day. She said, I'm gonna go through this football team, smash her pass.
She's cooking
Great content.
and I'm engaged.
Bro, I was like, do this team next.
And their voice is monotone.
Yeah.
This is like, he looks like a giraffe. Smash.
Like, but
That's a fair place.
there's so much content of people just doing just genuinely stupid shit, and it's like I think even the word feeling like I need to be inspired also just comes from the same perfectionist vein. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, flip side, I do think certain content, like content that comes up off a gimmick or content that comes off as formulaic or I'm just putting this out, I have this theory that everybody in the content scene respectively is built up to be put down. And my whole thing is when you're doing the content thing so long, you do something so formulaic or you do something so gimmicky and it reaches a certain height, that's when you have people go, but he's only doing this though.
Yeah, but that's going to happen regardless.
Eventually it happens.
But
eventually, I'm just offering flip side. I'm not saying that you're not. You're in the landscape that the internet is in right now. You are spot on, and I don't have any idea about it. But sometimes I think when I'm trying to show, and I don't know, maybe Ron has the same perspective, maybe other people have the same perspective. But when you're trying to offer originality, I don't think originality has an expiration date.
Oh, so now originality is bad. So now this is what we fucking did. But when I was screaming originality, it's fuck me, and I'm the hater.
Bro, about engagements though, But
now I'm the hater.
Engagements, at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing. We're all putting one knee down and we're offering them ring. That's more formulaic than anything has ever been. So don't
They just not gonna get
that.
They just gonna slide over across the table.
Yeah.
Here, nigga, damn.
Well, no.
Bro, I might even lie down and
Just have to be original.
But not even to to dismiss Jordan's content, but like sometimes
you
if
can
we're
dismiss
being
it, man.
honest here,
It's all right.
no, sometimes if we're being honest, like I'd say my content would have more ceiling. if it's original.
Yeah,
and it's great. If
I
it's
agree with
engaging.
that, and I think because you have the knowledge to make it better.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Honestly,
yeah.
you know what? I think you and Ron are like content snobs, low key. Not even low key.
Oh, yeah, no, we are.
Highest of keys, bro.
we are.
These men are the Simon Cowells of content, bro. Because the thing is, I
You're acting
understand.
like you're not though. So.
I'm actually no. I appreciate
You're
all.
a content critique as well.
No, I actually don't though. That's the funny thing. The content I like is the stupidest shit. Like smash or pass.
But how many people on the scene say they value Deji's words, including me? That's Simon Cowell right there.
No, but
That's Tony Hinchcliffe's content right there.
But the thing is,
you brutally.
but the thing is, I'm telling you to do low level content. I'm telling you to do the gimmicky shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Ron, respectfully, and Ron knows we love him over here, right? But some of Ron's best work is I was bored, so I whipped this up in a minute.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Your content have a higher ceiling because you have the knowledge to get to that ceiling, and that's what I'm saying. Does the knowledge then, like, even Ron, does it cripple you to be like, because you know so much and you know how to, you know what it takes.
Yes.
Does that become things that like, it's actually going to take a lot of effort. Whereas I don't know anything. I just stitch it together, put it. So the ceiling is capped. I agree, because like I'd have to actually have some knowledge about me to take it to that next level.
But I don't even think that's.
You guys know to do it better.
I don't think that captures ceiling.
I think so.
It
There's only
doesn't.
so much I can do.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm being
the thing
honest
is,
about myself.
But the thing is, there's only
Keith Lee, all he do is just review food now.
no, but there's
Send
only
us Keith
there's
Lee
only
now.
so much you can do because that's all you've tried to do. Like
Okay.
Jordan, what have you done? Remember, there was a point you didn't know how to edit audio, and it got to and Dave left, and it's like, yo, Jordan, I'm gonna need you to start editing this audio, and you fucking did it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like you build the skills as you go.
No,
It's the
but
same way.
I'm saying hypothetically, if Jordan was to stick with the same what I do in a day format, I'm not saying that his content can't evolve, but I'm saying that from my perspective, like you said, I might be being a bit of a content snob here, but like what I was doing, like when I was doing it, like I felt in my mind that it has more ceiling. It can reach out to more people. What I do, because what I was even talking about is more trivial. It's like my feelings. It's deep stuff with a bit of edits and a bit
I can see why you say that, but the reason why I actually think your ceiling has more content is because your content has more ceiling because your kid grows up and learns something new every day, and there's so many
that
people.
Content.
But even if the content isn't centered around your kid and it's just centered around you, there's gonna be a week where you're coming like, bro, this little nigga got me sick again.
But that's all dependent if Jordan has the knowledge to direct it to his.
But it doesn't even have. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't even need to be directed because Jordan hasn't directed shit. All he's done is like, this is what I'm doing today. And even when it's a day that nobody gives a fuck or like nothing's actually happening, people are still tuned in because there's some people that, yo, what is it like to be a fucking dad that's not an uncle with a pot belly? What is it like to
This guy's crazy. Thank you though. I think the compliment.
but do you get my point? Like, and then there's other people that are looking there like, we're seeing everybody's popping kid now. What's called Morris is gonna look at your videos and be like,
shut up, Morris, man.
Morris is gonna be like,
My God,
yo, that's what the fuck I'm doing right now. And there's a bunch of people that would do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's my whole point is, right. Sometimes just putting it out there will lead you to where you need to go. This podcast it's here because we just started saying, fuck it, let's just put it out there. And at every point, sometimes putting it out there and creating something is always going to be better than planning something, because the planning, and trust me, I'm a planner. I've done it all. Like Jordan knows how many plans have I had, how many ideas have I had that other people have stolen. And the thing is, the person that will steal my idea and do it is not even stealing because they had the same idea and do it to a level that I'm like, yo, this is shit. 3 years later, they're popping. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. And that's what my point is. Like, I understand feeling inspired. I understand saying, oh, I don't have the motivation. Even the whole thing of being on autopilot, bro. You're a crackhead, bro. Like, respectfully, you're a crackhead. So your autopilot. This nigga comes in the group chat and is like, boys, would you do this or do this? And this is him on the autopilot to pop out the autopilot content because you don't know. And there's a bunch of people that will relate that they live their whole life in autopilot. So they're gonna relate to that shit. They're gonna want to see that shit.
Who did Big Joe say you remind him of? With the blonde? What's his name? He has a blonde. No. It's Paisley.
Yeah, or Tony. Someone said I remind them of Tony Stakovich.
That's just my whole point. Like, I feel like when people are like content, like when people have consumed so much content, especially when they're young and they want to do this content thing and they're like building skills and buying cameras and do all this kind of shit, you forget that, yo, sometimes everybody's first video is shit. Stop trying to be class on your first video. It's gonna be shit. Our first podcast episode was shit and it's gonna be shit, but you need to put out the shit to then realize that, like, yo, you never know. Things will direct you to be like, okay, you need to go this way. You're not just gonna figure out, like, there's very few people I think that, okay, this is my plan, and then they execute it and it goes exactly as they wanted. That's my whole point.
Okay.
Yeah, no, understood.
Let's go back to March 2023. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do the live show, and then next day you're on a flight to Vancouver. Let's talk about this journey.
Okay.
So then you arrive. Did you have your accommodation sorted before you got there, or did you have to then find them?
Yeah, no, we had accommodation sorted out on Granville Street. Anybody that's based in Vancouver downtown knows whereabouts that is. But we only had it for a week, and then we had to move to another spot then on Richards, and then after that it was like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Wait,
wherever.
can we pause and rewind?
Yeah.
What made you want to move in the first place?
Yeah.
So like the conversation, like Deji would clench his fist if I said I draw inspiration. He'll get back to that watch. No, but I genuinely drew inspiration from watching these fellas on YouTube. Do you know For Your Entertainment? It's like Jay Richards and Che Richards, like these Canadian brothers from Toronto, and they do content. Even Drake's gotten them in on stuff. I remember I used to watch their vlogs, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. You know them now. Yeah. So I used to watch their vlogs, right? I used to watch them go from Toronto to Vancouver. Is this about when I was about 15, 16? Like I said, I've always, maybe that's been why I've gotten in my way so much. I've consumed so much content to the point where it's like that. But I used to watch them religiously when I was about 15, 16, and I was just fascinated by the idea of going from Toronto to Vancouver. I was like, this is cool as shit, man. Like, I just like that. Like, and I know it's probably been an upward trend of Irish people going to Vancouver and going to Australia and going to all these places. That's the thing. Like, Australia's never really appealed to me. But I always noticed, so I was just like, damn. I was like, America would be cool, or Canada would be cool. So when I had the whole outlined plan that I was going to do college and then I was going to finish college, it was always in mind that in a 5-year plan, I was going to do college, finish college, even get a big boy job for a little bit, and then go to Canada. That's an absolute no-brainer in my life. I felt like it'd be an asterisk on my life if I didn't do that.
Did it take convincing to tell Emma to go? Was she like, I want to stay home? Because was she more of like a homebody where she's around her family or people, or was that kind of like a collective idea?
Yeah, so like Emma is like a lot of kind of, I'd say, Irish people, if anything. Like she's quite
I was actually wanted to say that, but I didn't want to.
No. But it's objectively true. Like you see it. Like what? Remember that kid on Football's Next Star? He was he
got homesick.
He had an contract on the table, and he went home because he missed his ma's cooking or whatever. I'm like, bro, fuck out here, sign the thing, bro.
This was like Sky One. You're watching. Do you know Jared Bissett? Listen, but he was on that.
Yeah,
like this. You're watching this guy's Vieira's on.
You're watching this guy walk towards the Inter contract,
and then enters like we'll sign you.
Jose Mourinho.
I got home. Yeah, Mourinho's the coach. He said no, I got homesick. So
Mourinho's like this.
I would tell that little get go back, bro. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here after this contract. We'll get our bag.
It was like a 1-year contract as well. Anyway,
yeah, but I was just giving a depiction of the like, because Irish people, they love being. They get they get that treatment off their parents to the point where they just love being around their parents all the time. You know what I mean? They get that level of affection and that sort of thing. So, but in saying that though, no, it didn't take much convincing. I remember like in month 3 or 4, like I've had this on my mind in my plan since I've been about 19. So it was something that I said to her about 3 or 4 months in. I was like, look, I'm gonna grand scheme plan for me is I want to move to Canada. You can be in on it if you want or not. I'm doing it either way.
I was say come if you want.
But like we're 3 or 4 months in at that point, so that's kind of like, if we're still at a crossroads after 4 or 5 years, then I'd have to really consider it, because I care about this idea of doing this, but I also love Emma so much, so I'll be at a crossroads then. But thankfully it was it wasn't too hard to convince her. We went through phases. I remember during the pandemic then it looked like it was going to be a pipe dream. It was something that wasn't really going to happen. Then I started my job, and then I got comfortable in my job, and I pictured the idea of building up my seniority in this job and just staying in Ireland. And in the meantime, Emma was in a different kind of landscape with her job, so it was actually her at one stage that was pushing, let's move to Canada, let's move to Vancouver. Then February 23rd, did you say?
March 2023.
Yeah, give or take around that time. Yeah, around Marchish. At that point I was honestly, to keep it candid, I wanted to stay here for the content.
Yes, I remember that.
I wanted to almost stay here.
I remember having conversations with you in the cars, because we used to drive here with Dave. Dave, I was kind of telling him, like, brother, go to Canada because this scene will fall apart, and it did. And it fell apart.
Shouldn't I hate you so much?
We'll get into that. Anyways, Dave, go on.
Get into that, yeah. No, genuinely though, and genuinely, like I was a cynic about the Irish scene, but I was an optimist as well about the Irish scene, and I really thought the Irish scene was on the precipice of something.
Lol.
What is the ultimate hater, man?
But do you remember?
Fuck everybody, man.
Do you remember that culture shop summary thing we did?
In one church.
Some church, in some county or whatever.
No, we all don't talk. It's mad.
Bro, I said.
What's good, bro?
How's it going?
What's up, brother? How are you, mate? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you,
How
bro.
are you? How's things? Oh, cheers, brother. Cheers. You see the hair, Jason? What's that?
We out in the sun?
Nah, bro, not even. I was out in the sun helping my dad. But,
What are you doing?
doing a bit of cement mixing, that sort of thing.
Mixing?
Yeah. No, there is, yeah.
In front of the camera there?
No, in front of the camera.
Where's the milk fella going? Is he in the hood?
He's probably across the way.
See you,
Yeah, no
boss,
problem.
Take it easy.
But yeah, we did that thing in the church.
So we did that thing, and bro, I stood with my word for a few months. I said the Irish content scene has had a better year than music.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that take age like shit, man. Age like spoiled fucking milk. But I thought we were on the precipice of something, right? So when I left, I was like, in my head, I remember you all left the studio, you all left the sound house, and I'm sat there on my knees, head in my hands, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? We just absolutely shelled the show out. I had people grabbing my shoulders. People go, bro, you killed this. I'm seeing all the behind the scenes content. I'm sitting here like, what am I doing? We even cut a cake backstage and everything to celebrate or whatever. Celebrate me moving to Canada. And everybody cleared the room. And I sat there. I was like, what am I doing? Like, honestly, what am I doing? But I did it. I went with a gut feeling. Jordan was quite supportive. I think you had a bit of a non-opinion. I think you at the back of your mind were thinking it makes sense. You try stay though and try see out this content thing. But you also understood a little bit.
I was like, bro, go, man.
No, I was sad because I was projecting a bit because I said the one thing I wish I had done before like settling down is have an experience away, and I felt that when I went to LA in 2019 and people were there on their J1s and my brother was in Chicago on his J1. I was like, I wish I had this experience, and I was gonna do it. Then the pandemic happened, then I got me. So when maybe I was projecting myself onto you, I was like, Dave, you get a chance to do something I've always wanted to do. Fuck this podcast, man.
But you sat there and saw me real time wrestling with the idea.
Yeah, no, every single week.
We'd drive in the car and I'd be sitting there torturing myself. We're
like,
just about to do an episode with Cello. We're just about to do an episode with this guy, the next guy, the next. We absolutely shelled there with GTG. Why am I leaving? Yeah. And you're like, brother, like one thing I didn't do. You're on about even like Switzerland. You love the idea of maybe emigrating to Switzerland at some point, and you're like, where I am in my life, I just might not be able to do it just yet. But while you're at this point of your life and the option is available for yourself, seize it. Go do it.
Yeah.
So no, I did. At that stage, I couldn't really even back out of it at that point. We had the flights booked, we had the visa approved, all that sort of thing, and I was like, yeah, I'll go for it. I wasn't really thinking about what I wanted to do, and I think maybe that was the issue. I didn't have a whole like maybe 2-year plan of what I wanted to do content wise as well. I just wanted to experience life there. I wanted to experience maybe the ebbs and flows of living life there as well.
To get inspired. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, to get inspired. he gonna punch me on camera, but this inspired hipster shit.
Oh, yeah,
but genuinely, that's my mindset.
Yeah.
And I did, bro. I got to really experience that. I got to see what Canadian people are like. Some of them are, bro.
Dude, we'll get there. Day you have to leave now. What's it feeling like? Like the actual getting on the flight. Like actually, you've packed. It's happening now. Your mom might take you to the airport. What the fuck is that like?
When I'm leaving.
When you're actually leaving, like what are you feeling? What's the
so
vibes
I'm leaving.
around you?
Emma's mom drives us up, and even the live show. You remember my dad popping up, making an appearance at the live show. Like I see my dad, and I'm kind of thinking, oh yeah, this might be the last time I see my dad for a couple of years. And all. I'm getting drove down. I'm still in this sort of shell shock that I've just done absolutely shelled the live show. Now nothing's gonna happen now. I'm just gonna move now the next day. So we're driving down, I'm saying goodbye to the parents and all that. Like Emma's kind of losing it, like saying bye to our parents. And I don't know what sort of, I'm sitting there a little bit stoic about it. Like just not really stoic. I'm the guy that takes a while to register stuff. Like anything in life. I take a while to register. So I'm sitting there going like, we're saying goodbye, but like what's actually happening? Are we actually moving? Are we actually packing our bags? And you have this thought in your head for a second where you can't picture your life there. You have this idea of what your life should be, but you can't picture your life there. And we went there and we said bye to everybody at the departure gates. So I was crying. I remember I lost my mind, saying bye to my dad. Then at a point, the emotions just hit me. Then I lost my mind because my mom was rushing from a meeting at work. She only had like 5 minutes to say bye to me, and she says bye and then hugs me, and she's losing the plot, crying. And I'm sitting there having when you're having your airport Burger King. I'm sitting there having my airport Burger King. I'm sitting there like, we're moving. We're going to. I was sitting there like with my whopper like in my hand, just like looking at it like.
This isn't the trip. I'll be back in next week.
Yeah. Bro, you know when you realize, wait, we only booked a 1-way flight.
Yeah, we only booked a 1-way flight. I can't even eat my whopper right now. I'm sitting there staring at US Customs. I'm like, we're going through there. It's 1 way. And we're not coming back. And then that's it. And then we flew, and then I don't know. The flight was just a blur. I think it was like 8 hours from Dublin to Toronto, and then it was 6 hours from Toronto to Vancouver. Then.
Oh wow!
I remember sitting there. I'm processing everything. I'm like, how am I gonna accept it? How am I even gonna like tolerate the food here? I remember I stopped at Toronto airport, and I'm getting this chicken sandwich, and it brought us a big ass nugget in a sandwich. I'm sitting like, what is this dead processed food? I'm gonna hate here, bro. I'm gonna hate here. And then I have like Sammy text me. I have the boys texting me going, best of luck, like, and I'm just sitting there like, well, what? What am I doing? What am I doing?
So, and okay, then this you get there, you guys move in. Was this your first experience with Emma moving in together, living together?
No, because I actually lived with Emma a few months, like probably nearly up to a year, maybe 8-10 months prior to that, and I think it was a good kind of idea of what it's like living with your partner, but it wasn't the full encompassing experience of living with your partner. Because when I lived with my partner in Vancouver, then it was our own space, and it was our own space we had to occupy, and it was our own space that we had to build together. But we also had to navigate life together without our parents being around. So we almost had to be like support pillars for each other, and like I think that really made my relationship with Emma evolve tenfold.
Was this your first time both of you guys have lived outside your parents' houses and shit?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like fresh for both of you.
It's fresh for both of us. Like, so it's fresh for both of us. So, we're both kind of navigating how to, live in each other's spaces, when to hang out, when to not hang out, how to handle arguments. Like my rule of thumb is there's no point in arguing. You know what I mean? So, we'd have our little bicker for a few minutes, and then I'm like, we can't let this fester for an hour. If this festers for an hour, one of us goes and apologizes. And I think we kind of built up that mechanism of dealing with certain stuff to a point where we did have our arguments, like every couple did, but when we have our arguments we're able to kind of navigate it. And our rule of thumb was, it's like, don't fall asleep, don't go to sleep on this grudge, you know what I mean, because generally like life is short, you know what I mean. I could walk out, clear my head, get absolutely put on a bonnet, you know what I mean, and next thing I know I didn't get to apologize before I got to
Toxic in me was like
I know, I can see him smiling.
Next time you say sorry.
Yeah.
Look at me now. No, I'm dead.
Yeah. He said I'll apologize in the afterlife. That'd be this toxic.
And how was adapting for Emma? Like
adapting for Emma,
Emma
adapted way better than I even thought. Because like I said, like she's just and I love my parents, but this girl like I love my parents, and they understand it, but I don't always like being around them. Respectfully, like I don't always like being around.
I hear that.
Whereas Emma like genuinely loves being around her parents. I see that love, and I see that kind of chemistry she has with her parents, and she just genuinely loves being around her parents, in that sort of way. But no, she genuinely adjusted she had the same level of homesickness the way everybody has the same level of homesickness. And I think a real canon event for us when we were in Canada having to deal with not being home was actually the riots. The riots that happened in 23, November 23 or something like that. Yeah. My sister was stuck in a theater, bro. Like she was stuck in a theater because they were saying any blacks, any foreigners, anybody, she's stuck in a theater. My dad's trying to get to her. Emma, can't believe what's happening in Ireland. And that was a real moment where it was like, and off the back of that attack at the creche and stuff like that. Yes. We're sitting there like, we're not supposed. Why are we doing this Mickey Mouse
attack at the creche?
Yeah. That's what kind of.
Oh yeah, yes.
That's what led to the. That's what literally led to the riots. Like Conor McGregor was inciting it, other right wing people were inciting it, and they got what they wanted. There was a riot then that day. But that was when I was like, what are we doing on this Mickey Mouse fucking holiday, man? We should be at home trying to sort this shit out. But otherwise we didn't really have too much homesickness till maybe we hit about month 15 or 16 in Vancouver, where you start to feel like you start ranting about politics in Vancouver. You start giving out about Trudeau, and you're like, Jesus.
During the US election, me and Dave right there arguing politics.
Arguing politics.
One of my favorite things to do is acting like I'm an expert in something I don't know anything about.
No, but you said
I'm just gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna chat to him.
I was vetting one day, and you're like, "Wow, you sound like that politics."
I started listening to the PBD podcast.
It sounded like the PBD podcast.
I was like, Patrick David, let's.
And then I was sitting there that day. I was like, I'm really a resident of Vancouver now.
Yeah.
And that's when it starts clicking for you a bit like, I've been here too long. I've been here way too long. Because now I know the difference in prices and groceries. You know what I mean? I know the taxes
Rent is
here
how much?
now. I know bro, rent on average is $2,600 a month. You know what I mean? And I went up at one stage to $3,000.
Yeah, but you know that because it's your first time having to be an adult on your own.
Yeah.
If doing that here as well, it's going to give you the.
But when you
exact same
understand the nuances of where you live, you realize you've been there too long.
While you're there, you obviously go then through some family business. I'm not getting into it. How was navigating that being away from?
Oh yeah. So I'm not there that long, and I kind of hit a bit of a rut at that point. Rut is an understatement. I don't even get into it too much. But then October 1st, my grandmother passes on October 1st, and I'm in Seattle, and I get the news in Seattle, and I'm just like, I can't enjoy Seattle then for a few days. And then I have to watch the funeral online. That was probably another time where I was a bit like, I need to be at home. Like, I'm watching everybody live. I'm seeing my sister look like a woman on the camera. You know what I mean? That's not my little sister that I left. Now she's looking like a woman, having to be a supporter. I'm seeing her having to pour her arms around everybody, pour her arm around my dad, because it's on my dad's side. It was my dad's mother pretty much. And then I'm sitting there being like, I need to be here, but I can't afford the flight, and I can't do it. And I'm watching the funeral at 3 a.m. and I'm like, I need to be here. I need to be there, and I need to be supported, and I need to be a pillar. And you don't even understand how much of what's going on at home till you come back. Because when you're coming back, like, my dad's telling me, I had to go for a walk out on Portmarnock Beach every single day because I couldn't deal with the grief. I couldn't visit your nana in Glasnevin for the first 3 months, that sort of thing, because I couldn't handle the grief of it all. Because the first thing I did was when I touched down back into Dublin, jet lagged, I went to see my nana's grave. So that's where you kind of find out what was really, really going on. Because your parents, like the way you don't want to worry your parents when you're abroad, they don't want to worry you back home with home affairs. The same way you don't want to worry them about what's happening in Vancouver and that sort of thing. So I only found out more when I came home.
And then we touched on something there. It's like, obviously then when you're assimilating, you also got into the workforce. How was the work culture in Canada compared to the work culture here in Ireland? These Vancouverites are dead food. They're boring. They're honestly boring. And I have a lot. And any Canadian friends I made or any Vancouver friends I made, shout out to you lot. Love yous loads. You know who you are. I was privileged enough. A lot of Irish people, they go to Canada and they go to Vancouver, and a lot of Irish people, especially white Irish people, they go to another country and they want to live out the Irish experience. What do you mean by that?
Like, they want to be in Irish pubs. They want to be amongst Irish people. You know, it's kind of that mob mentality where they want to just kind of stick together. They want to have they do almost treat it like a holiday for 2 years. Whereas with me and Emma, we really set up our lives in Vancouver. You know what I mean? And not to make it sound like an immigrant elitist way. Like, we went there and we really set up our lives there. We made friends with Canadians. We made friends with people from Alberta. We made friends with people from Mission, which is the outskirts of Vancouver, around British Columbia. We made friends with different people. We made friends with Canadian Korean people. We made friends with like brown Canadian people. We had such a diverse range of friends, and I'm so grateful for that. But the workforce, man, the workforce, naturally when you move to a country, the first place you expect to kind of make your friends or build bonds is probably within the workforce. Bro, these guys just wanted to, and I think with Canadians, they adopted to the American mindset of grind. There's a bit of a grind set mentality in Vancouver. And the thing is, it's on the west coast, Vancouver. So there's a baby LA element that you get to living in Vancouver. So a lot of people were just trying to make, there's a saying that I heard before where it's like, Vancouver people don't want to make friends because they're too busy trying to make ends meet. And that's the thing, like, everybody was too worried about their cost of living, their livelihood, everything, to kind of make friends. So you kind of went into these different roles, and I worked in one place for the whole time. I wasn't one of these Irish people either that job hopped. I worked in the same place for the whole time. And the whole time, you're kind of just talking to people, and they don't really have much to offer. You ask them what they're doing on the weekend. They're like, oh, nothing, I just chilled, kind of thing. And they're not really, like, wanting to talk. Or,
Did you love to work there?
Bro,
I was just thinking, I was just thinking, that's what I do here.
But I'm a social creature, though. Like, I honestly am a social creature. So I absorb the energy in any room that I'm in. So I noticed that there's absolutely no energy in this room. It kind of just, it took away my spark for a little bit. And that's it. And that's kind of the what you're dealing with living in Vancouver. You're dealing with the idea of, you might at some point be waiting till you finish working at Bun a Zoo, or you might be waiting until the week you start living for the weekend again. And then when you realize when you're doing that in another country, you're kind of like, what am I doing this for? And then
that's what I was gonna get to next. I was like, then what you do your 2 years there, you settle your economy. What comes into the idea of like, okay, maybe it's time to go home? Was there conversations to stay longer, or what was?
Because I genuinely, when you left, I was like, he's not coming back.
Yeah, you did say that.
There's very few people I see.
Say this though, but based on what?
Most people, when I see them leave Ireland and they see a different life kind of a situation, they usually don't want to come back.
But I saw that life, and like my mindset is like, even right now as we speak, I don't miss it. Because I saw that life, and I saw the novelty of living that life, but that was a part of my life, and it stays there. You know what I mean?
It's a side quest.
Yeah, it's a side quest. It's a side quest for experience value, and that was really it. But what made me want to go home then was, it wasn't really my choice. Immigration policies changed there. It was harder to obtain permanent residency. To get an RO, there was like an RO visa, which was essentially an extension of your IEC visa, which would have cost $3,000 a piece. So it would have cost us $6,000 altogether, just to extend in a country that we, after maybe 18 months, we weren't even too sure about. Like, anybody that lives in Vancouver knows of Vancouver. It's not a place that, especially downtown Vancouver, it's not a place where you're gonna want to stay long term.
Yeah.
It's not a place that you're going to. There's a drug epidemic there. The cost of living there is unrealistic. You might want to move out to the outskirts, but then the outskirts become quieter, and then it's kind of like, why am I living this quiet life then?
If I come to a city,
if I can come back to Ireland where my family's based and live that quiet life.
Because my thing is obviously observing from the outside, it's like people that live in big cities, let's say London, New York, Vancouver, Toronto. I was like, oh, you guys get the option of like, there's always something going on. There's always something to do. Does that appeal that if it's a Wednesday or the Thursday or whatever, and I'm working from home tomorrow and I want to do something, I can just. Whereas in Ireland, I feel like we have like, I feel like I'm waiting for an event, something to happen.
Yeah. Well,
I thought maybe you have that luxury, but if you're going back to saying like, I'm just living for the weekend, I'm living the same life that I would have lived here in Canada, I can understand then saying like, I might as well come home. Do you know
but
what
then
I'm saying?
even in Vancouver in particular, there's a catch to it. There's a lot of stuff to do, but it's all costing $50 minimum. So everything in Canada, like we always joke that like Vancouver is a bit of a Ponzi scheme. Everything is taking money from you and withdrawing more money from you even. So like sometimes you had to be a bit shrewd with what you wanted to do in Vancouver, like whether that was hikes, swimming. I converted into a hike baby and a water baby in Vancouver. That was really where I embraced, the nature aspect of things, because let's face it, that was the only thing that was most affordable. So then, when it comes into certain seasons like the winter and stuff like that you don't have as much access to that. So then you're kind of looking for stuff that's affordable, or stuff that you're willing to pay a pretty penny on. And especially and on the flip side too, you're paying a lot on rent, you're getting taxed more. I was getting charged like municipal pension plan, which was like a ridiculous tax on pension that took nearly about $400 of my money every single month. And this was about a year into working in Canada. So I was feeling the pinch of living in Canada. Yeah. So it's kind of like, what's the point in having all these shiny toys on display to do stuff when you can't afford them? Yeah,
Natasha said something similar like on last week's episode about just coming home, because she was like, I did the adult thing for so long and so much. I just wanted to come back and
want to come home. Yeah,
yeah, let me just be in my parents, which I get, because obviously we have an idea of, maybe I romanticize it. I'm like, but you live in a big city, like there's always going, because remember you were showing me during the playoffs, you were sending me stories, and I'm like, oh, this is like playoff atmosphere in a city. I was like, I want to experience some of this. Like I want to experience
also,
that.
Canucks tickets are $130.
Yeah,
but also, so there's novelty in that. Yeah. That's the most novel thing you can do. Like just do that every 2 months, and you won't get to do that every single week. Like you can go to a Shells game now for $20.
Yeah, I saw you were there.
You can do that.
Yeah, but also the things, I put a bit of an asterisk on it, because in Ireland you are in a place where you're both of you are at home. You didn't have to live life as an adult and be by yourself.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
So you're saying that I didn't have to do more stuff with intent.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? But whereas when you're in Dublin, you're a bit more comfortable. A few more little things, and also the other part of it is just like, you ain't been in the workforce you ain't been in the workforce that long. Do you get what I'm saying?
No.
Like when we go out, it pees off the bat. I won't say it. Obviously, I haven't been there, but is it that much different? Do you get what I mean? As into what we have here. Like if you're in the middle of Dublin paying rent, going out to go do anything is still going to cost you €50 plus. Still going to cost you. Yeah. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, type of bar drinks are like, I saw someone put a menu. I was saying like a pint was like €12. I give it over, will you?
Yeah, but our alternative in Vancouver though is always, let's just sit here and smoke weed. Yeah, you know what I mean. Let's just
as opposed to what's different here.
What's different here is, I haven't even.
You can just sit here and smoke weed too.
But bro, I barely smoked since I came back. You know what what I mean? And I have the option of seeing my parents and seeing because
comforts.
we're all adults now. Home comfort.
Yeah.
Because friends aren't always going to be around, and it was the same thing in Vancouver. It was like friends aren't always going to be around, and then the novelty of spending money on something that you can do, that's not gonna be there week to week. Like in Vancouver, and it's like real life too. If you splurge on the first weekend, you ain't doing shit the next weekend.
The weekend you get paid.
Yeah. You're splurging that first weekend.
Those first 2 weeks.
The weekend we get paid, the following week we're going to money for David's birthday. I'll be there.
next week I have cocoa noodles and sitting in. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching movies. Like that's literally how it went. But you have we're here. It's a different novelty because you have the novelty then of popping into your parents. They might make you food. They might, throw you a bit of bob or whatever.
Yeah, there's a whole. I get what you.
Yeah.
Like in summary, I get what you're saying. Like even if you do big city price in Dublin, at least there's you have your base here and you can
have
see
your base here, and that's what
your support.
you got your support here.
Your base,
Yeah, because that's like for me, anyways. I was thought I don't know, maybe 2 years, like probably what I talked about. I was like, oh, did you come home when you're about to like settle here, have a family? Because having a family now, I understand the importance of having your support around you rather than if you do it abroad. But it's good to have you back anyways. It's good that this is like full circle, the last episode before you went to the last episode now. So
it makes sense.
I wanted, obviously then we talked about when you didn't want to go, it's a big asterisk or big question mark was like, how will this play out in terms of like the content and being in the space? Now that you've been away from it for 2 years and you can look at it from like a lens away from here, do you obviously you feel like you've made the right decision by going away and not sticking around for the pod?
Hey, look, like, and at the time I didn't think I made the right decision, but you could also see the prerequisites there. Like I could see the warts on the scene, and we just had to diagnose it first to see if the scene had herpes.
Why did you go with that part?
And the scene, and we ultimately, the scene has herpes. It's diseased.
Why did you go with that part? Herpes,
No, but we saw it.
But I just meant like
2021. We had conversations though, and you had a chat to me, and we won't specifically name names. If you want to let the clip fly, I'll let you name names. But we didn't want to name specific names or anything like that. But we had conversations where we said, "Why did X and Y?"
Boys,
What's the
story? Sir, you getting in?
You know how we record.
You getting in?
Get those tickets, boy.
Appreciate you, man.
April 27th.
See you, man.
Mick copped his ticket. April 27th.
Yeah, see, be like Mick.
Yeah,
Be like fucking Mick.
Get your ticket. Don't be asking these boys for G list on the day off, please.
Bro.
yeah, support the team. But yeah, obviously we're talking about like it was a big decision. It was a reason for you not wanting to go. But then now you get to view it from a lens different.
Yeah, no, you were saying though, because remember we were saying like maybe in 2020 when you said like so you felt like a certain person or group of people didn't want to support. I told you that. I don't know, Jordan. You have this mindset that we all actually want to help each other here.
Oh, I did.
And you came into the game.
But Deji still thinks we all support each other here.
Hey,
listen,
all I can say is
They just no.
I've been supported.
in certain areas, and people may feel supported, but they're
Before you went, I did like, which is like I understood why you thought this could be more than it was, because I had that feeling. Like obviously you probably had that feeling when we were building a bit of momentum and you're thinking. I understood the conflict that you had. I get it, because it's like, what if I leave now and these mans are talking for a living and I and I left. I understood because I saw it too.
Yeah,
and maybe I was. That's why I'm asking you for maybe a more objective point of view, and because you wanted to be in it and you got out of it. How do you view it not being in it? Because I was naive thinking like, oh, it's kumbaya. We have each other's best. We're all doing the same thing. So because we're all in the same space, we want this space to ideally to grow. So we will all have the same ambition towards it. Yeah. And I was naive looking at it that way. Until they said smoky settings and they said, oh, your husband isn't my type. Then I was like, nah, fuck all this people. Fuck. Until they went on that episode of If I Speak and they said, oh, your husband. First of all,
Jordan.
Like I watched that, and I was like, to be offended, I gotta value where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. I gotta look at the opinion.
I saw you more than ever. I'm gonna run and use the toilet, and you land.
No, but Dej, what I'm saying is, I did have a naive POV. I did. This guy. Why are you laughing? I did want to. All I'm saying is, I get where David's coming from, because I had the same point of view and I did want the best for the scene. Until one day I turned on If I Speak podcast and someone is saying your husband, this is my type.
Oh God.
I was like, first of all, I was like, what you say fuck me for?
Oh God. I just didn't expect us to get here.
Who cares, man? We're leaving. Fuck it. Fuck it.
April 27th.
At that very moment, yeah, I said, yeah, let all this thing burn, man.
I know.
I said, let all the, and then slowly by slowly, I was like, you guys didn't want it. You guys wanted to be at the. A lot of people, like someone said, a lot of people didn't want it. You wanted to be at the forefront of it. And my bad for being naive, thinking it was a collective effort, thinking people wanted to help each other out. But I think Dave has to come here because I want to hear more his POV because he wanted to remain in this space.
Okay, but you see, when I say people support, yeah, I think the difference is people think I mean that everybody's kumbaya and everybody's best friends and everybody.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean. Yeah. I just don't expect things from people.
Okay.
I'm not. So when I say people do support, I'm not worried about all the people that aren't supporting me or all the people that I feel like they should support me because I'm doing this thing. I'm just focused on the people that are going to show up on April 27th. I'm just focused on the people that watch this every week, the people that come up to me and they're like, yo, Dej, I love the pod, I love what you guys do. I'm not focused on the people that I feel like, I'm in this space and you're in this space, so we should fuck with each other.
Do you know what? You're spot on. You're spot on because where I went wrong is I put expectations. Mm-hmm. You're right. I wasn't naive. I put expectations. I was optimistic. I maybe saw going somewhere or to being something. So I was like, okay. And I saw people being genuinely.
I nearly pissed on my jeans catching over this one.
Or being genuinely cordial, or being cool. So maybe I got a bit naive thinking like it's.
So
you're right. I blame myself.
I think a lot of people, right? Like I've said a million times, a lot of people are in. Just because you're in the same workspace when you're in the same space as people, and like just because I'm cool and I fuck with you, it doesn't mean that we're friends. It doesn't mean that we have to be friends. It doesn't mean that we're gonna like. There's people that I see and like we're in this thing together and it's cool. When I see you, it's high, it's cool. We banter and all that, but I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
No,
but the fact we're not friends though, right? And we're all just colleagues and we're all just peers in this. Another thing that I think the Irish scene didn't do is we didn't cultivate honest conversations. Do you know how many times I went on Twitter and says, let's have an honest conversation about something that was said on a pod or critique that was made by a particular personality in the scene or just the overall landscape of the scene. And I tried tweeting, having honest conversations. I had certain people that I won't name names, private message me, go, they concur, they agree or whatever, or they hear. But the broader people want to have the conversation.
I'm not gonna lie. Why am I talking about next man on the timeline? I don't give a fuck.
But we don't have to. But it doesn't have to be necessarily the timeline. We can talk. We can make group. Bro,
but everybody is talking.
No, like, in 2022 we had group chats. We generally. Do you not remember? Would we have a group chat now in 2025? Absolutely not. No, half of us don't even have us on socials anymore. But we used to have group chats. And like,
no, it's true. It's true. And do you know what? The funny thing about that.
Jordan, don't burn everything down before we go.
Well.
Don't burn it all.
Might as well, bro.
No, see, the thing is, I didn't want to do this before because they're just gonna be in the same space as these people. Like I was like, let me. And that thing was funny because that whole thing happened, yeah. And people are trying to. Shout out to you, Matt, because people are trying to draw you out on the timeline. People are trying to draw you out and be like, "Whoa, what's he gonna say?" And I didn't take the bite. One thing that made me take the bite. Someone says someone needs to go pattern their baby moms. First of all, why you bring my baby into this? Why are you mentioning my baby into this?
Speak your truth, Jordan.
That was the moment I looked at everybody and said, this is all fugazi. And I gave it 6 months. And within 6 months, I'm listening to Where's the Head of podcast. KD's asking him, why are you two beefing? I thought you guys were doing best friends now. Now you're beefing.
Jordan, chill out. See,
was it not everybody? And then on the timeline sending each other. She's on one person on the timeline sending each other helpline. This will help if you do that.
Jordan,
you man will do justice, man.
Chill out.
Burn this shit to the ground.
He wants the empire burn with a smile on his face. See, Jordan, speak your truth. Speak your truth.
This is the thing. I always say people think I'm the one that's on fuck shit. It's Jordan.
Yeah,
it's actually
no,
Jordan.
because I think at that stage they made it personal.
No.
When he said go pattern your baby mom, you're trying to be disrespectful and you're making it personal. And people are keying and people are like, you people are drawing me out now by my name. You're saying, I saw tweets that say, this is Jordan's wife. You're bringing this to Twitter. You're making it personal. I wanted to address it then and there, but we had Simba and Jaffa next week on the pod. I said I'm not gonna do this. I bit my tongue. But now that we're leaving, I'm like, the perception I see a year later to where you guys were to seeing all this fraction. It was all this fun when I don't have the gun. When I saw, I was like, so you're beefing here. You're beefing here. When your husband wasn't my type. No. When your husband wasn't my type. When your husband wasn't my type, was being said on the timeline, everybody was laughing. It was all funny. When people were saying, "Pound your baby moms," that was funny.
Yeah.
I bit my tongue. There's people I looked at weird since then. Now to see the results a year later, in the words of the great Nate Diaz, hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. you guys,
you looked in the mirror.
there was purpose in your friends, because I would never beef Dage and Dave and bring it on the timeline. I would never say humans need help and send them a helpline on the timeline. You guys ain't trying to help each other. You guys trying to.
Dej, I know you're furring.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Your bear right now.
I felt this for a year because these people.
Chest.
The minute they said they brought my baby into it, I was like, "Fuck everybody."
Look, to be honest,
There's principles to it, though.
Look, to be honest, I hear what you're crashing out.
Yeah,
and
that's it. I'm crashed out.
I think because I have never personally been invested in a lot of these things, like, and when people are crashing out on the timeline, we love to.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's how people will be sending us, yo, this is my real life, please cut that shit out.
Yeah.
So I get it. Do you get what I'm saying? I just didn't know how the fuck we handled it.
No, but yeah, because that was just giving my perception personal, because I was naive and I did want everybody. Then to be in it and to people that know you and they have your number and they can have conversation with you, to be disrespectful on the timeline, I was like, all right, the view I had on it a year ago has changed. So Dave, you actually wanted to remain in it. What is your view on it from leaving and to come back now?
From leaving to come back now, I just view it as an untapped market now, because it's decimated. It's gone. It's gone. The house burnt and now there's just rubble and I'm standing there and going, I can plaster this, you know. Like, I can maybe do something with this. Like, start it off. But what I want.
There's nothing here, man.
Listen. This might age bad or it might age well. I think something can be rebuilt. I think something can be rebuilt and it can be fortified.
If not the same people are building
it can be fortified, but we need to come at it with a different approach. I think we need to have more open conversations. We need to have more criticism there almost, and constructive criticism out of love, because some of the criticism I was hearing in some of these pods, I'm like, nah, you're slick hating.
Like what?
You're slick hating. You're slick hating. You know what I mean? He's moving his head.
You might take a touch, bro.
Yeah, nah, bro. I'm pinging it 60 yards.
No, okay,
I'm pinging it 60 yards.
You know, me, I love a good crash out.
No, but genuinely though, can I give an example? So Cittg relaunched almost like a Filthy Fellas kind of type podcast again, from my left, and the first thing he did was have Specs Gonzalez on it, and I was just hearing this whole hour and a half long piece about how Cittg helped build the scene. He did this, he did that, and they all built the scene. But one thing he did with Specs is he had honest conversations with Specs. So Specs at the time, he used to be the crackhead that we know him to be now, but a lot of his rants and a lot of his humor was incoherent. People didn't understand it. He was just putting random clips up and he was just chatting nonsense. So Cittg had an honest conversation with him and goes, your lane, you can be a crackhead in the scene, but this isn't your lane. And we don't have these honest conversations with each other where we're like, okay, you can be good at this, but this right now what you're doing isn't your lane. The way we can just have an honest conversation now with each other. On the broader scale in the scene, we can't do that.
Boy, see, the thing is,
do we know each other?
People want to hear.
No, they don't.
But do you think Cittg and Specs knew each other at the time?
Yes,
no, they
were working together.
The point he made was that they didn't even know each other at the time. He just acquired Specs at the time as a talent, and the first thing he said to him was, he said, "That thing you're doing there isn't good.
Dave,
let's pivot
Dave,
to this.
But,
it's okay to pivot. Let's not be a dead horse."
The thing is, right, and this is what all you man keep getting fucked up. Just because, all right, cool. We know where's your head at, yeah. We can chat to Tommy because we have a personal relationship with Tommy. But let's say fucking Black Connect podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
They do. I don't know these people. Who am I to come up and just be chatting?
What sounds better? Texting them, and you're acting like my whole like idea of this is we just air each other out if we don't like some shit.
No, but
let's normalize texting again, people.
But texting who?
WhatsApp. I have people's contacts.
Dave,
I have people's contacts. We can go back to old group chats and have the contacts like that. Now we're in front of them, texting them and saying something to them.
Yeah, but this is going back to this over familiarity that everyone thinks that they have.
It's not over familiarity.
It is.
And that's how disrespect starts.
It is. No, it's not. Just because I have your number doesn't make me your friend. Just because I have your number doesn't mean just because there's some people out there that have my number that don't.
Just because I have your LinkedIn doesn't mean I have your friend. But I can also text you on LinkedIn and say, "Look, you should apply for this job."
Yeah,
I can add some objectivity to it, bro.
Yeah, there's a difference between saying,
I'm not texting you going, "Hey, my boy, how are you? Let's link."
This is great.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
I set the tone.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
I think I'm friends with people in the
scene.
scene.
No, it's not that. Yeah, people keep doing this honest conversation shit. Niggas that are friends with niggas are having those conversations with their boys. I'm sitting here telling Ron, yo, fix up and do some shit. You're always doing contacts, not contacts. I'm saying the same shit to you.
All within our own echo chamber.
Yeah.
I might hear it off the next person. I might hear off the next person I'm not friends with more than you.
Dave, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're on my phone, if you're on my contact list, and you call me and we don't chat one of boys, but just because we're in a group chat together one time, and you come and tell me, yo, you should do this on. Fuck off!
Who's the person?
Who gives a fuck about what the fuck you think? Wait. I'm tired of this. We don't have an honest conversation with each other. Who the fuck gives a fuck about your honest conversation?
Skating around names, all right? And I'll stick with that. I won't skate around names. But you had somebody that you had an idea for, and we'll talk about off camera. You had a great idea for someone. What's wrong with you texting them and just going, yo, bro? Like, and you
I did that.
Yo, bro. You can hello. Person,
I did that.
I think you should do this.
But we do that
all the time.
But that's me saying,
building
yo.
The scene is a social act. If we're just sitting there not talking to each other.
Dave,
fuck the scene.
We don't have to be friends.
Dave, this ain't even about the scene. It's I could go to Dongo and be like, yo, I think you should stream.
But also too, you man are projecting saying fuck the scene because you're gonna be out of the scene.
No.
You're gonna leave the scene. No, that's right.
That's not why. Number one. Number two. I could text Dongo and be like, yo, bro, I think you should do this. But I'm also not going to text Dongo and be like, yo, bro, you're doing this and this and this and this wrong. Respectfully, I'm not going to do that.
What's wrong with that?
Don't do that to me. Who the fuck are you?
I think what's happening here, people have different standards for what they will accept. Like, you might accept someone coming up for you. Like, you might accept, let's use what, somebody could use what's the guy from Quarter Raps? What's Kestin? You might accept Kestin coming up to you and be like, yo, bro, I know we don't know each other, but I think you'd be good. Dage might look at it as like, why is this guy texting me? So I don't know. I just people will accept different things from different people, and that's.
I personally think it can be a catalyst of someone if you text and I don't want to air out like candid conversations I'm having with people. But I already said to one person that's in this scene doing a podcast, I said to them, I said respectfully, I love what you're doing, I love what you've been doing for years, but I don't think long form content is always going to be for you. I think you're a what's that boxer's name? Deontay Wilder. Yeah. I think you're a Deontay Wilder quick heavy hitter person. I don't think you're a person jabbing for an hour straight person. I don't think you're a long form content person. I think you're a person that has the one liners, the heavy hitters. You're a panelist person. I think if you stick to this, you can be a superstar, and they can digest that whatever way they want.
But do you have a relationship with this person, to an extent?
Probably not even the relationship I used to have with them, but I still felt the need to say that to them.
But you still have a relationship with the person.
But I don't have to have a relationship. If you put anybody in front of me right now that I don't even know, I'll give them an honest but careful assessment of what their content is like.
What I think you're saying is someone that you don't even know might not care to hear from you. Which is this is what I'm saying.
I might be saying what everybody's thinking.
But this is the thing, yeah. Like, and I'm coming from a place of like, I used to be the person that would tell people, give my unsolicited advice all the time, and it never. Obviously, I will say, accountability. My delivery wasn't always the best, but
I think it's respected though. I think it's respected.
Like this is the thing. This whole thing of like, okay, you telling me that this episode was shit, and how does this help the scene? How does this help any fucking body?
I just didn't think people would be about skating around telling someone how we really feel about their content. It's not supposed to have growth.
It's not about skating around telling people how you feel about it.
Straight.
The thing is,
do you have much relationship with Kestin?
Yeah, I've known Kestin for 10+ years.
That's like rapport though, but that's not.
No. I've known Kestin for 10+ years.
Off my conversation, he's known.
Yeah, trust me. But my point is, I think because we're in a small country and in a small place where everybody knows everybody from one of it. Forget the disrespectful for a second. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody kind of knows somebody that knows somebody. Like, I met Dongo, I've met this person, I met KD. I wouldn't know these people if it wasn't for content. And I feel like because everybody's so close and everybody's so kumbaya and everybody can like, yo, what's good, bro? And we can have a quick 5-10 minute conversation. Everybody now thinks we're friends and everybody now thinks we can chat to each other. Yo, bro, at the end of the day, you're still a fucking stranger. I'm not gonna vouch for you. I don't know who the fuck you are, and just because you do content, it's not my place to form my lips and tell you that, yo, you're doing this wrong, because what you're doing, like, everybody has an opinion on something. And bro, this is the thing, yeah, as much as you think you know this thing, bro, your opinion doesn't mean shit. Your opinion is wrong, your opinion is stupid. Don't chat to me about your opinion. And especially if you've never been to my house, you don't know that I have a sister, you don't know anything about me, all you know is what you see on the mic, and you watch once a month. Don't fucking chat to me about this shit. So that's why I'm all like, people are talking about this honest conversation. You're asking for an honest conversation that somebody that doesn't even watch your content just because they sit in a studio that's 30 seconds away from you. Like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, like you have no pressure. You can let it out, bro.
These guys, where their headspace is at right now, they want to see the scene.
No, this is the thing.
I care less.
No, this is
they're out with the scene right now.
No. This is the funny thing.
He still wants to see it.
I actually want everybody to grow, and I got love for everybody.
How do you think that happens?
It happens by like this is the thing. Yeah, everybody keeps going back to we should do like the UK and these men are linking up and these. Shut the fuck up. What do you mean? Like,
where is it taking us being prideful and not comparing to the UK? We're back where we were in 2020. We're exactly back where we are in 2020 because we haven't followed. We don't have to absolutely beat up the UK's asses following everything they say, but follow some sort of format similar to the UK.
Ron made a good point about us in the UK, and it was actually a very solid point. It's because we don't, again, to your point of originality. By the time we try to emulate what they're doing, they're already on to the next step. So it always seems like we're behind. Like, look at 90s babies, yeah? By the time we all got a studio space, now they have their own studio when they like. It always feels like, what are they doing over there? The good analysis is like Pep. By the time Pep is doing like tiki taka, everybody's like, let's do tiki taka. Then he's doing false nine. Everybody's like, let's do false nine. Then he's doing inverted wing backs. Let's do inverted. So he's always like, we're always playing catch up to the guy. That's what Pep's always winning.
While we're on honest conversation, while we're on football analogies here, how do we cultivate development through honest conversations? A coach that has no relationship with a player goes, look, my bro, you've been doing this thing where you keep quitting on the right and trying to shoot. I don't have any relationship with you. All I have is a professional relationship. Even another coach from another team can pull them aside.
I hear your point about having conversations.
I'm not saying let's be friends with each other. But if we're both peers within the same scene, let's have honest conversations.
I hear your point, and I agree with that. You need to have honest conversation in life. I hear that. That's not a point I'm dismissing. My counter argument is like someone might not care to hear from you, even though you're right. They might want to hear from someone like within their echo chamber, or some people operate within their echo chamber that whatever 10 people are saying in their echo chamber compared to what like I know you. So if you have a conversation with me, calm. I know of Mick. So if Mick says, this is what I think of Cittg, I might listen to it, but at the back of my mind, I'm like, all right. I might not value what you're saying. I might not value the same.
Do you think that might stunt your growth then?
No, because we're still listening.
It could. No. I'm not gonna say it. Like it could because he could be saying something that's valuable. What I'm saying is the recipient might not want to hear it.
But even apart from that, everybody keeps talking about having honest conversations, and I'm sitting here saying everybody that I've had a thought about, we've said it to them, and it's not even just one person. Like I've had thoughts about where's your head at, and I've hit Tommy on the low and be like, yo, Tommy, like, are you man's retiring? Like, because it feels like you're retiring. We said it straight to your face, like, bro,
that's a good combo.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
You're based off everybody's
everybody's talking as if like there's some people, and I've sat here and I said, yo, I think that content is shit, but everybody's gassing it. But the thing is, those people are gassing it because they probably actually like it, and that's their honest opinion about it. Don't give me Jordan is ready to burn everything like that. But my point is, people keep making it seem like everybody's just licking each other's arse and saying that everything is great when it's not. That's not true. People have come to us and told us.
I didn't even say that extreme. I said like we're not I'm not saying we should burn the whole thing down and just shit on each other's content or give like harsh criticism. I'm saying we should offer alternative to people and say where they can pivot to. So what Cittg almost specializes in is spotting talent, seeing what they're already doing and going, this is good, but you can do this.
Okay, and
can we not say? Can that not be said?
But it's been happening. That's been happening. When has that not happened? That's my point. My point is, when has that not happened? Everybody's always talking about this honest conversation. Honest conversation with who? Everybody that fucks with everybody. We've sat there and watched Smiley tell Dongo you're not doing enough.
Okay,
I've sat here and told Kes,
and the scene is thriving because we're doing that now, right?
Bro,
the scene's thriving, isn't it?
If I've said it in the past couple episodes.
Outside of music, let's put it totally on content right now, because I think saying music is growing is a cop out, because a lot of music people move independently anyway. Or they move with labels.
I do think the content side under 25 is growing.
No, but
you have like Victor, Kieran,
you know how I feel about
Izzy Boy. They are
you are moving a goal.
No, it's not content.
I said it in the last two episodes. It's not a content problem. It's an Ireland problem. It's a market problem. It's not a content problem, because the thing is, even if people don't fuck with each other, even if people don't fuck with each other and the scene don't fuck with each other, they're still gonna. If there was money here, there'd still be money put in places. The problem is that there's not enough here, and I'm not going through it again because I went through it the last 2 episodes. I'm not
But
doing
yeah,
that again.
because even outside of music, do you have Meek Mill? He's doing well. He's being flow now. You have Izzy Boy. He's doing well. Do we can't Kieran because he's at like nearly 1 million.
He's doing well.
Victor Alfred. So who you referring to when you talk about content?
Because they're
Like,
anomalies you've mentioned.
How are they anomalies? GTG is
they're
doing well.
That's like said you've mentioned like 6.
Okay, but who you talking about? That's not trying.
Well, there's almost collectives in the and I'm not going to.
I need examples,
But
like-
I'm going to use it to support my example. But you have collectives in the UK that work together and do well together. Craig Mitch knows Poet, who does well with Filthy, who knows From My Left, who does well together.
So
Okay,
but
but
They all do well together.
yeah,
I'm
but
saying
you're
the UK does well together as a community.
But how you're
only
only saying that because the sheer numbers that they have. You're looking the same way that you're looking at us as anomalies or whatever. If you take the numbers, there's more people in London than there is in Ireland. So even in just that London scene alone,
Yeah, if we're breaking it down
that's what it
geographically,
is. It's just numbers, bro.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, this is still the same way that you can say, oh, Simba's doing this and Simba's helping this person and this person is doing this with this person. Yeah, like it's the same way. Mick fucks with Kieran, that fucks with Young Bless, that fucks with this, and they're doing their thing. The Rages are doing their thing, that fuck with this person, that fuck with this person.
Gliders,
They're doing their thing.
music.
Gliders are
so when
doing
you say content, I want to know like what realm of content are you referring to? Because I can name people that, especially the ones under 20. I don't know what age Mick is, but I can these people say
Okay, if we want to specify
But I was
more,
like-
black podcasting then.
Okay, if say Black Podcast isn't Trevor right now, I would agree with you because it's only GTG.
Yeah,
if that's
I should have specified that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If
Yeah,
that's
should have
if you're talking about that specifically, yeah, there's no disagreement that we're not doing as well as we were.
I'm
in
not gonna lie,
2022.
I'm someone that's just ignorant back in the country. I'm hearing it off you lot.
Yeah,
I'm hearing off you
No,
lot.
I think. Okay, you say no music, but I think content creators like the TikTok, the people that do the skit makers, even TJ the
No,
Dope,
because the skit makers collab.
yeah,
There's collabs and Kieran collabs.
What's up?
Sorry, man. Ron the Don sent me in here, man.
Oh shit, yeah,
Wrapping up, Barry.
That's alright.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wrap up now. Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, whatever. No, whatever.
Yeah,
Alright.
no worries.
Sounds like a good pod, though.
No problem.
I feel kind of bad coming in the door. Yeah.
No problem. Anyways, yeah, we'll wrap up now. So thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot where we were. Oh, I was asking. So you're going to get back into this space now that you're back? Is that what you're looking to
see,
collab
see,
and do
we'll
podcasts
see.
again?
We're doing a lot of joking here about the scene and that, etc.
Who's joking?
We'll see.
I meant everything I said. I meant every
Jordan,
single word.
You know I'm not cutting shit.
Oh, don't cut it. Don't cut it. Call the episode. Your husband is my type.
Dude, what are you on, bro?
Call your
What
episode.
Now I'm ready. Yeah.
Call your episode. Call
Oh
your husband.
my
is
God.
Call me pussy.
Let
I'm
them-
removing
let
myself
them
out of
know-
this.
let
And then
them-
you speak your truth.
Let them
You
listen
speak
to
your
it for an
truth.
hour and a half just
Jordan,
to get to that part and
Jordan,
send it to each other.
Jordan, what are you on, bro? Like I thought we'd
No.
we'd matured.
Do you know
moved
what?
past
Do you know what
shit.
it is? Yeah.
Hey, look.
They just because people got disrespectful, and I bit my tongue. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna take the high road. But a part of me was like, I didn't do anything to humans to deserve that disrespect.
Jordan,
so-
let's move on. Let's move on. April 27th. Make sure you're
Why you calling this episode? Why you calling this?
Jordan, fuck off, man. I can't do this with you, right? I can't do this with you today.
Don't go shit out. April 27th at the Sugar Club. We're giving
Oh
a
my
holiday.
God.
If you
Oh
made
my
it to the end of this
fucking God.
podcast, you didn't like anything we said.
They definitely didn't like what you said.
Genuinely, if you don't like anything we say, take it to the timeline and charge it. Thank you for listening.
Wow.